know that's true.
Martin donated $200.
Thank you, Marquavius. Appreciate it.
I'm bringing in
bro.
the money
Everyone's
today.
got, like, you're on a roll.
As gentle as I can. I'll fly you home for the holidays so you can breathe in the loving arms of your family. And in a matter of years, you'll barely think of me every day. Kiko, be less narcissistic.
I love being a narcissist, but that's the thing. You talked about his girlfriend in the last one. You don't have a girlfriend. I will guarantee right now you don't. And if she did, if you do, she should slap the fuck out of you for spending $600 so far on this podcast. Like, I'm sure you don't. Like,
Getting some money by her red bottoms.
yeah, like get your girlfriend a new bag or something.
Objection.
Don't send
Overruled.
it to the show. Send it to me. No,
Like, send it to my cash app.
send it to me.
Marquavius is a stud.
Send it to the cat shelter.
Marquavius is a legend.
Yeah. So just to finish my point, you can't allow yourself as a man to have excuses. You cannot allow yourself to have excuses for why you can't go and find a date, because then you're just not going to go out and find a date. The odds are that these men, they're probably lacking in something. They're probably not interesting. They're probably lack conversation skills. I like to believe that there's a small majority of men that have really committed themselves to improving upon themselves as best as they possibly can in their financial life, in their social life, in their physical fitness, and still aren't getting even a single date with women. And if that's true, you have to look at yourself realistically. You have to rate yourself out of 10 and say, look, I'm 5'8", therefore I'm a 7.
Sam, I raised you this question. Do you think that's really only a male thing, or do you think that's a society thing, that people are just lazier these days in a sense? And like, is that only men that aren't pushing themselves to be the best of themselves? Because I think that message could apply to every single person.
That's a really, really good point, Deborah, because
Thank you.
women, and to Brian's point, that women have overinflated egos because of social media and because of the apps. They're not putting in any effort, right? They're not creating a personality for themselves.
I know girls who just swipe their Hinge and they're like, okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm like, but
Yeah.
what's the point of wasting? This is a little bit larger thing, but I don't understand the point of like wasting time. I've personally never gone on a date with somebody from an app.
Me either.
I have a hard time like
Connecting.
if meeting somebody on an app. I could never imagine myself meeting them in real life. That's just, it's very important for me to meet people in person, sense their energy. But I know friends who just like do it for funs, and I feel like, do you agree or disagree that at a certain point, if you're just dating to date in a way, like you're not being selective, is that more harmful or helpful to your long-term goal?
Certainly
depends.
harmful,
Well,
especially for women. A lot of women waste their 20s just hooking up with all the chads.
Yeah.
And then their 30s come around and they're like, yo, I want to settle down with a good guy. But it's like, yo, the good guys that you would want to settle down with, they're not interested in a woman who wasted her 20s just hooking up with all the guys. They want oftentimes a younger woman with less baggage. To your point a second ago too, I think one of the reasons why a lot of people are frustrated with the dating world is because a lot of people aren't bringing much to the table, guys and women included, right? There's a lot of women out there, all they're bringing to the table is their body and their time, right? They wouldn't necessarily make a great wife or a great girlfriend. And to your guys' points before about men, like there's a lot of men out there who, you know, like Sam was saying, they're making excuses for themselves, and they're not like working hard on themselves to build their value as men, right? And to all of the guys out there, like there's a lot of black-pilled dudes out there. Every man has it within his capacity to work on his career. And yes, there's a lot of feminists out there that like, you know, they're rejecting, like, I don't want a male provider, but every man has it within his capacity to work on his career, to get in the gym, and to, like Sam does, practice a martial art. And when guys do these things, it builds your energy and your confidence so much. When you build your value as a man, every guy has it within his capacity to do those things, and it changes the way women look at you. And guys should be doing that.
Yes,
Can I ask
amen,
you-
man.
Can I ask you a question though? Like,
real quick, can I
Go
respond to Deborah's point? I think that, you know, like you were saying, women, they need to improve upon themselves too, and maybe they're lacking social skills too, or whatever they need to succeed in the dating world. And that is because they're getting validation from the apps.
Yes.
If you're on the apps and you're a woman, I've been on the apps. I'm not afraid to admit it. A lot of women just don't respond, or you know, if it's like, why did you like my profile if you don't
like
want to go out on a
overwhelmed
date
with
with me?
options,
Yeah,
though.
like I'm selective about the women that I swipe on. I don't
Good.
just look at them for their body or whatever. I actually am looking at, you know, could we be a potential match? And when I swipe on them, I'd like to take them out to coffee and see, like, meet them for an hour and see if we're actually going to click. Because like I said previously, my energy is different online than it is in person when you're looking into my eyes. And As a man, you need to go and do that. And so, but as a woman, you make a good point. Women are getting too much validation from the apps. They go and they swipe and they're like, yeah, I'm wanted and loved, and then they do nothing. Right? They don't improve upon themselves.
You say that women need to self-improve. You're not wrong. However, the difference is that women need not self-improve to get laid, to get a partner, to get a boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's why it's just so fucking easy for women.
My response to that would be that there is no fulfillment in hookup culture. There is no fulfillment in just fucking someone. Trust me, I've done it. It's not fulfilling. It's not something that I want. Once you do it, you might think you're hot. You might feel better. You might have a little bit more confidence for the next person. But it is completely a waste of your time and your money. And especially if you're a young woman, you don't have time. You need to find the guy now. Like if you're in your 20s, you need to find, and you are serious about wanting to get married, you need to start getting really serious about the person that you're dating and the time that you're spending.
And I want to add a caveat on that because I've spoken with a lot of women recently who are in their like late 20s, early 30s who feel like they have no value because they're in their late 20s and early 30s. I know dudes in their 30s that are looking for you women. Don't think that you don't have any value because you haven't found a guy by the time you're in your late 20s. However, Sam's point is still correct in the sense that it is a bad idea to waste your 20s just having fun and then hope to settle down with the best guy possible in your early 30s. Like that is a bad idea. And a lot of women, you know, I've got a lot of friends from high school. They fall into that trap. They think they can just bang all the chads through their 20s and then settle down in their late 20s, early 30s. Doesn't work like that, ladies. But that's to say, women in your late 20s and early 30s, you are not valueless.